friends. We are officially live. I am so excited to create some wonderful artworks with everybody tonight. I'm just going to take 2 seconds to get my stuff set up here. And oh, man, you know, this is my favorite time of day when I get to draw cool characters with my friends. And I'm just so excited to share this time with you guys. So settle in here. I just want to make sure everything is working. Okay. All right. All right. So it's official. Hello, everyone. I'm Julie, and this is a really cool event that is actually being sponsored by our friends at the We Tech Alliance in Windsor, RISE, Windsor Essex, the Mama and Family Expo Windsor, and also the Windsor Essex Small Business Center. So thank you, friends. This is going live at the same time as the Strike Up conference, which is another conference for women in entrepreneurship. So, you know, it's just so wonderful to be able to hang out with everybody, and maybe your mom or you guys are hanging out and attending these conferences too. It's just so important to celebrate the women in our lives. And that's why I'm so honored, but also just excited to do a really cool character that's obviously like the epitome of women's empowerment. And I just love the idea of channeling our Wonder Woman tonight. So if you are hanging out and watching, even if you're not drawing, just let me know you're here. Say hello. And let me know where you're painting from. And even if you're not painting tonight, that is 100% okay. If you want to grab just a pencil and paper and maybe some colored pencils, that is perfect as well. I put a couple different examples in the discussion of this event that you can check out. Just I'd made a couple pencil drawings that you can check out because, you know, there's a lot of different. Oh, here's all of our friends. Hey, Dixie, if you want to do a dog or a fox, you can do whatever you want. Sure. Maybe you could give this little Wonder Woman some ears or something. Hi, Melissa from Waterloo, and hey, oh, thanks, Lorena. Hey, Lorena, what's going on, friend? Long time no see. Yeah, I put some pink in my hair. It's the first time ever, and I'm really enjoying it. Thanks. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Tanya. And hi, Nancy, and hi, Magdalena. How's it going? I'm glad Token Jim's in the house, and that always makes me so happy. Thanks for showing up, guys. You are awesome. Now, oh, and Nancy's here from Iroquois, Ontario. Perfect. And Tiff Quinn's here too. Sweet. So cool, guys. So, you know, the best part about this night in particular is we're going to draw this character together. And that's going to be the most bulk of the situation. So we're going to take our time. We're just going to use a pencil, grab an eraser. I have my pad of paper here. We're just one line at a time. We're going to get through this character. And then you get to decide, what color hair does she have? What color skin does she have? What color eyes does she have? I want you to think about all of the awesome women in your life, and who is this Wonder Woman to you? Does she have blonde hair with pink in it? And, you know, you really do get to create this. Maybe keep her the same uniform. You can color that whatever color you want to. But this is definitely your picture. So you get to do whatever colors you want. It's all good. Let's see who else is here. Oh, thanks, Tiff. And Rebecca from Richmond Hill, sweet. And Mandy here, and you were with me for the fairy painting. That's so great too. So I'm glad you're here to show up with me tonight. The party gets officially started in 5 minutes, so this is a really good time to kind of settle in and get your bearings. Say hi. Say hello. Oh, hi, Sarah and Mom and Dad from London, Ontario. I'm really happy you guys are here. Um, all right. Yeah. So tonight's a little bit different too. I'm going to be doing like an above shot kind of situation here. So you can see, let's see here. So you see my little Wonder Woman. She's on my pad of paper, but I'm actually going to go get rid of her later. And you are going to get to see the whole upper view of what's happening on my pad of paper. I'm going to disappear too, like poof. And then you can see I have some colors here. I have my palette, I have a napkin, and my paints and brushes, and my red Solo cup that is obviously well worn in and used. So if you are deciding to paint with me tonight, make sure you have, okay, for her uniform, we have some red and blue and yellow and white. We're going to outline her in black. And I also have her skin tone color. It's like this, it's called Flesh, which is kind of weird. But it's like a peachy color for her skin. And like I said, you get to decide whatever color skin you want to give her. So just maybe it's like a light tan or a brown color. There's so many different colors. Maybe she's like Gamora. Maybe Gamora is your hero and you want to give her green hair. It's up to you. Maybe Billie Eilish, and the top of her hair could be green and the bottom of her hair can be black. Whatever you want to do today is totally up to you. And hi, Gracie and Rosie. Thanks for being here. I don't know if you remember me from before, but hey. And oh, thanks, Donna. You know, it's just one of those things. I pretty much get my hair done maybe twice a year. And I actually grabbed an appointment out of nowhere the other day with my beautiful friend Tamara from I Dare Your Hair in Amherstburg, Ontario. And I just asked her to put pink in it, and she did a really good job. So I'm stoked. I'm stoked. I don't usually have nice hair, so, well, I mean, you know, fresh hair. The pandemic's been really showing off my grays lately, so. All right, guys, so we're just going to get started in 3 minutes. Everybody, just make sure you have all your supplies ready. And, aw, Jim, you're sweet. Actually, you know who has blonde and pink hair? Spider-Girl, Gwen Stacy from the Spider-Man series, or the Spider-Verse, or whatever you want to call it. And we're big Spider-Man fans in our house, so I'm definitely, Gwen Stacy's my hero, she's my daughter's hero, so that's who I'm emulating, mimicking, trying to be. I would love to be some sort of superhero, that'd be sweet. That's awesome. Annie just put pink in her hair too, and the 8-year-olds are doing it, so I must be super cool. Oh, to be 8 again, that just sounds so wonderful. And somebody cook all my meals for me, that'd be so great. I would love that so much. Okay, so 2 more minutes. Yes, Susan, totally, the Miles Morales Spider-Man one. We watch it a lot in our house. Like a lot. It's actually one movie that my daughter will actually watch with us, surprisingly enough. And it's totally a masterpiece, so we're stoked on that. Cool, Dana loves Gwen too. Awesome. Yeah, it's totally a family thing, hey? You just like, your family chooses a superhero to love, and you roll with it. And the Into the Spider-Verse movie is definitely on the tops of our list. So, and we love the Wonder Woman movie too, and that's why we are here tonight, to celebrate all of the women in our life. So let's clap for ourselves. Yeah, we're awesome. Girls rock. Yeah, so why don't we get this party started? It's gonna take us a little bit to draw out our character, and let's just remind ourselves, okay? We're all different. we're all at different levels. We all see things differently and draw things differently and hold our pencils differently. And we just need to embrace the process. It's okay if your Wonder Woman doesn't look anything like my Wonder Woman. It's not the end of the world. We are here just to have some fun, to let loose. Drawing and painting can be a wonderful time to just relax and release and let go. So let's focus on that. Let's not focus on being super duper perfect. Like I said, we're just going to take this one line at a time and do the best we can. And if, you want to have an eraser, you can always erase it. I did make this video. You are able to rewind it and fast forward it. I believe I put that on the live video. So if you need to stop and take little breaks, that's totally okay. We're only here for an hour, so we're going to get as much done as we possibly can. And I totally believe in you. So even if you make a little small character or a big character, it's so up to you, and you're going to totally rock it. So just believe in yourself. You can absolutely do this. And hi, Reese. I'm so happy that you're here with me tonight. So I'm going to disappear from this scenario. You are going to see, I'm going to move her over here. And so you can see my pad of paper over on the side there. In my Wonder Woman here, I'm going to stick her right in the middle. We're going to draw her right in the center here. So just take a look here, guys. If you're going to paint tonight, I have red, black, blue, yellow, peachy flesh color, and white. I have a cup of water, a couple little brushes, and my pencil and eraser. So pencils first. So let's get to this. We are going to draw this on here. I just need to adjust a few things. So get settled in. It's all good. Now, our Wonder Woman's going to sit right in the center here, and I love to start with her headband. I think that's the easiest thing to start with. It's super straightforward, and so, you can see, I'm trying to point at it. There we go. It's over there somewhere. All right, well, okay, deep breath, let's get started. So right in the center here, I'm going to start with an upwards triangle. Oh, I already broke my pencil. Nice. Upwards triangle. And then on each side of my little peak there, I'm going to make one line this way and one line this way. So this is going to be your headband that we're working on here. Now on each side, I'm going to make a little rectangle area. If you need to make noises, please don't hesitate. And then the bottom of her headband is going to go right here. Okay? So that is the first step. And you can see this is just for fun. Nothing on my page is going to be perfect tonight, guys. So let's just remember that. We're just having fun here. Now her face is a big bowl. So I'm going to attach a bowl from one corner all the way over to the other corner. And just take your time. I'm going to go down. Oh man, I keep breaking my pencil. I'm going to go, good thing I have a push pencil. Down. One way. Now you can attach it in one go, or you can do it like me and do it in 2 steps here. Nice little circle right at the top there. Just a nice little U shape. You know what? I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit her on this page. Guys, I'm just going to quickly redo this. Hold on a second. Pro. I'm a pro. So just keep working on that. I'm going to redraw this up here because I think that I made it too big to fit on my page. Oh my goodness, and I keep breaking my pencil. Stop it, Julie. Okay, so here we are. We got our headband, and we got a U one way, and a nice little U the other way. All right. And we're just going to leave her hair open right now. Now she's got this little neck down here, so I got about two little notches for her neck. And each one of her shoulders, I always like to go from side to side. So I'm going to pull over this way, and then I'm going to pull over the other way. Now, her shoulders are about the same length as her face. Maybe a little shorter, but you know, relatively in that department. So she's got her two little shoulders popping out the sides here. And then I'm going to bring her arm all the way down just a couple inches and over. And then down and over. Down and over, down and over, down and over, down and over. All right. Okay, now she's going to need a little arm here, so I'm just going to move over here, and I stop, you know, just a little bit before her little elbow there. Okay. And actually, I'm just going to pull this over a little bit each way. Now, what I'm going to do is leave a little bit of space in between each of our things. So maybe about an inch on each side. And I'm going to, oh my goodness, this pencil is not very good. Okay, I'm going to pull down from each side here. And this is going to be her waist area, okay? So what's going to happen is I am going to connect each corner and make her little uniform right in this area here. So I have the two sides of her body, and I'm going to start on one side and go all the way up and over, all the way almost to the center. Hopefully I have enough lead in my pencil for this. And then I'm going to go all the way up and over, almost to the center the other way. Okay? Just one little line at a time, guys. And then she's got this little triangle right in the center here. Okay? So I'm just going to pull these down a little bit further. And now that she has her waist, we can go ahead and bring her arms down. And they're supposed to be on her hips, so they're a little too far. And that's just you know what? That is just the way it goes. So on each side of her arm, I'm going to pull up. I'm going to give there's a backward C on this one and a forward C on this one. And she's got a little thumb, and it's going to connect over here. Okay? I know that looks really funny. She's got like these weird hook hands. Okay. So from her, let's see here. We got her waist going on here. And I just love this chick's legs. So she's super duper strong. Okay, this girl is so strong. And her legs are going to kind of pull out from one side all the way down this way. And then same over here. And then from this point, she's going to have another little lump that goes down on each side, not as long. Look at this chick. It's like, is she going to be a mermaid? I'm not sure. Maybe. Maybe she is. So these are actually going to be her shins and her boots. So right at the end of each of these little lumps, I'm going to give her one little foot over here. Boop. And I'm going to give her one little foot over here. Boop. Now, from the bottoms of her shoes, they're going to attach right in the center up here. Okay? So, I'm going to go up one way, and then I'm going to go down the other way. So you can do this any way you want. You can start from the middle and pull down. You can totally start from the shoe and pull up, whatever you want to do. I'm just going to fix this line here really quick. I want her legs to be a little thicker because she's super duper strong. All right. Oh, hey, Girl Scout Troop 81920. Wait, 81,920. There must be so many Girl Scout troops, guys. Seriously. Okay. So now we have her basic shape, minus the hair. Now, what's going to happen is right at her waistline, I'm going to give her her belt. So starting right at her little points here, I'm going to pull up towards the center and down the other way. I'm going to leave a little space, and then I'm going to pull down towards the bottom and then over the other way. And then she's got her superhero underwear on, so I'm going to finish this off right there. And then another line right here. Oh my goodness, this pencil is not, I should have got a different pencil. There you go. And then up here in her chest area, I'm going to pull over, and I'm just going to give her, I'm going to basically follow the exact line that I already made. So I started right at the center there, or right at the point that it started at on the top. And I followed exactly that same point. And I just did a parallel line right there. And then I am going to do one more line that's going to start again at the center, but it's just going to pull down and over. So it's kind of like a big McDonald's M. I'm going to pull down. Oh my goodness. Pull down and over. All right. She's got her superhero suit on. Now we're just going to give her some boots. So just underneath of her knee on each of these sides here, we're going to have a little triangular boot. And these boots have super sweet designs on them. They're kind of like arrows shooting up. So on each side, I'm going to put two little lines going that way. And then it's going to pull straight down the center. And just right where her toes kind of start, I'm going to pull over a little bit. So all the way down and over. Same over here. All the way down and over. All the way down and over. So you can see it looks like there's like little arrows going boo whip, pointing all the way up. Hi Emma, how's it going? Stoked you're here, friends. Now we're just taking this one little step at a time, so just get all those elements on there, and we're drawing them all on to start so that we can paint it after or color it, whatever you want to do. So anybody who's showing up right now, just remember, you get to pick and choose whatever color hair, eyes, skin tone you want. Think about all the awesome women in your life and ask yourself what color hair, skin, and eyes they have. All right. Okay. So now we are going to give her her hair. And her hair basically encompasses all around the back of her. So I like to start, she's got this little curve up in her hair. If you want to go up maybe an inch, inch and a half, just above her little arrow, top of her arrow here, you can make a little C up here. So we're going to make a little C up at the top. Right up here. Little C. And then that is going to, I'm going to start right at the top of my C. I'm going to pull all the way over. And I'm going to start to pull down and so that there's about an inch of space in between the edge of her hair and the edge of her face. So I'm just going to pull down that way. And I'm going to go all the way down to her elbows. So I'm pulling all the way down. Woo! Go down. All right. It's going, going, going. And then her hair is going to finish off behind her arm. So it's like it swoops behind her arm. And then I'm going to start back up at the top here with the same thing. I'm going to try and just leave a little bit of space between her hair and her face. And I'm going down and I swoop around towards her shoulder. So this time, instead of going straight, I give it a little curve and aim for her shoulder. Then I'm going to start to wisp her hair over to the side here. So I'm going to put a little wisp here. So I just pull down and over. And then I'm going to wrap it all the way around, just under her hand, and it's going to hit her hip. Oh, thanks, Tiana. Hi, Lenny and Breck. How's it going, friends? Now, if you have an issue because I made her elbows a little further away than they should have been, you know, that's kind of one of the things when you're drawing, and especially at a time like this, we're just having fun, guys. It's all good. Now, if you wanted to widen out her hips a little bit or just bring her shoulders in a little bit, you can absolutely do that because her hands are supposed to be on her hips, but she's like going to put her hands on her hips right now, right? So that's she's in action. She's in action, but she does have these really sweet cuffs here. So I'm going to put a couple little cuffs on her forearms right there. And she does have a nice star in the center up here. So honestly, if you want to be super perfect, you can really take your time drawing this star in. But I like when things are a little wonky, and I think I've said that a bunch of times, so it doesn't bother me at all. Just do the best you can. And we're going to start on her face. So, cool. Oh, Emma, I'm so glad you love painting. So do I. Angela and her 3-year-old Logan are here. Awesome. And Shannon from Victoria. Hey, Shannon, what's happening? Hi. I used to live in Victoria. I love Victoria. I worked at Lucky Bar. And the Navy League cadets are here. Killing it. Guys, you're so awesome. Okay, well, let's continue on. This chick needs a face. Let's give her a face. So we're going to start with her eyes. And they are big. They just take up most of her face. So just maybe give yourself maybe a 3/4 of an inch underneath of her, what is this, headband. Just about here. And you want to leave, you can probably put your fingers here, about a finger of space in between the triangle in the center of her face there. So right underneath here, I'm going to pull up and over. So These are going to be her eyelashes, and then her eyes come all the way down. Whoa, those are big. Big ol' eyes. And this part's going to attach over here, and then this part's going to come over and attach down here. So this whole area here is going to be all in black later. And just remember, we are painting over this, so if you feel like you didn't make the right line, just go ahead and kind of fix it up, just like I did here. So I'm not going to see any of these little lines in between. I can erase them to show you, but you don't have to worry about that stuff because we're going to be painting right over top of it. And then I'm going to give her a big old pupil. Now I'm going to leave her pupil empty so I can just paint it in later. All right, but she needs another eye, so I'm going to go over and do it on the other side here. So up and over. Let's see here. We're going to have a nice big old eye. Try and keep it the same size as the other side, but you know, if it doesn't work out, that's okay. And then the top of her eyelash connects down here, and then it comes up and over. She looks very tired. Before her face is painted on, she looks very tired. And I'm also not going to paint her eyebrows on. I'm going to leave those for later, but I'm going to give her a little mouth so she's got a nice little smile, no teeth. There we go. So this is our Wonder Woman before she's painted on. Perfect. Let me know. Take a couple minutes, guys. If you want to, you know, do a little erasing or rearranging, you can absolutely do that right now. Just take a few seconds. And while that's happening, I'm going to go ahead and get my colors on my palette. And I'm going to move my little Wonder Woman out of the way. I'm going to just keep her up here so we can see her. And I'm going to go ahead and get my paints together. So, let's see if I can just move this a little bit. Oh, there we go. All right, perfect. So what I like to do is I just go with one color at a time. I am going to start with all of the colors of her uniform, and I do everything and I outline last. So everything is going to look a little funny until it's time to actually outline her. Now, if you're using colored pencils, you can also do it the same way that I do. If you want to color everything first, that's cool. But you might want to outline it first with a black colored pencil or a black pen first, and then color it in later. So that's up to you, but it works both ways. If you want to outline last, that works perfectly fine. If you want to outline first, that works perfectly fine too, especially with the colored pencils. Now with paints, it's a little bit different because you have to be a little bit more particular with your paints. So right now I'm just putting a little bit of blue, a little bit of red, and a little bit of yellow on my palette while everybody gets their stuff all settled out there. And I have my medium 1/2 inch flat brush here. I wonder if I can, there it is. Why, hello, Mr. Flat Brush, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. I have my water cup and I have my napkin to wipe my brush on underneath of my plate here. And I'm just going to do one color at a time. I also have my liner brush. So anywhere, like in these little crevices, I will use my liner brush. Any bigger spaces, I'll use my medium flat brush. That's how it goes, you know. And at any time, guys, you just use the brush that you are the most comfortable with, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and start with the yellow. And I'm going to start, let's see here. I'm going to start with the medium flat brush and see how that goes. Little dip in my water. And I'm just going to grab a little bit of yellow and start at the top and work my way down. Now, if you want, because we did this in pencil first, you're going to be able to see the pencil behind. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to paint right over top of my star up here. You can see it just paints right over it. And yellow is a great color to work with first because it's so easy to cover up. So if you get any yellow in her hair or in her face, it's not going to be the end of the world because guess what? It's really easy to cover up. Thank goodness. I love easy cover up paints. Hi, Connie. Thanks for saying hi. I'm glad you're here. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and take my skinny brush and I'm going to color in some of the yellow spots on her, what do you call it? A uniform? Her superhero uniform, I suppose? Superhero suit? And this part here is all in yellow, this little area right underneath of the top area there. Again, just one little bit at a time. Now, you know, I'm trying to think if colored pencils or paints are easier. I feel like maybe there's a little bit more control with colored pencils, but it might take a little bit longer to fill it in, depending on how you like to draw. So one way that I like to use colored pencils, if I was using colored pencils, is I start with just like a light coloring, and then I start to push a little harder and a little harder until it's really nice and filled in. Now her belt is yellow too, but you can see I don't really have to do that with my paint because the paint is what it is. It just colors it in right away. I don't have to do it in layers or anything like that. But paint is a lot messier and using brushes is a little bit more finicky than using colored pencils. But to be honest, I really love doing both. I love coloring with colored pencils or crayons, but mostly colored pencils. I'm one of those people who just like buy sets of colored pencils just because I love like a nice fresh set, even though I already have hundreds of colored pencils. All right. So for now, that's all the yellow we're going to do. After, we're going to put our little yellow lasso on there, so that's all good. Just one little section at a time. All right. So now I'm going to rinse my brush and I'm going to grab some red this time around. I'm going to start to fill in her red suit. So right at the top up here, just going to go ahead and color it all in. And like I said, guys, you know, we're here for an hour and there's a lot of territory to cover in this little bit of an hour that we have together. And just take your time, okay? You have the picture of the Wonder Woman there. You have the ability to stop and go as you please. And you do not have to keep up. If you feel like I'm going a little fast, just know that I have been painting and drawing for a really long time. So it's okay if you're going a little bit slower. But with this picture, there's no shading. There's no special techniques. We are just filling in the colors that we drew on our page. So just have fun with it. Just take your time and get lost in that beautiful feeling of getting creative, okay? When you get nice and concentrated and you fill in those little holes, so good. So, so good. All right, we got an animal kingdom going on here in the chat box. This is interesting. Okay, so now I'm leaving this yellow, but I'm going to color all underneath. And because this area is a little bigger, I'm going to switch over. Switch on over to my bigger brush so I can fill this in a little bit better. And you know, if you have decided to paint this and you're having any issues kind of making nice straight edges, or if your sides, if you feel like things are going on a little dry, don't hesitate. Just a little dip in your water cup and a little tap of water in your actual paint. And it just really helps your brush glide around these edges. And you can see when I'm doing this, I'm just using the very corner of my brush to get around all of these little edges here. So just using the side of my brush all along these little lines here. It's just the side. All the way down. All right, here we go. Ooh. All right. Oh, your daughter's name is Victoria. Hi, Shannon, and hi, Victoria. Gotcha. Now, Wonder Woman's boots are also red, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to color her boots red, but that arrow that we put in the center of her boots, I'm going to leave it white. So I'm going to paint red on each side of her boot. What are you talking about? So a little bit over here, a little bit over there. And, you know, sometimes I need to flatten out my brush to get into these little crevices. Nice one. All right, well, sorry guys, I'm still here, but my camera has shut off on me for some reason. So just give me a second while I get this together. I'm not sure what happened. Hold on a second. Huh. This is great. Come on, camera. Why are you leaving me? Okay. All right, well, I'm going to have to do a little switcherooski here. So just bear with me for a second, guys. I don't know what happened, but I am going to switch my... Hey, big face, what's going on? Here, let me just get my camera down. I am not sure what happened there, but I apologize. Okay. Luckily, I have lots of cameras going on and I can keep going because that's really annoying. Sorry, friends. That has never happened before. Very interesting. I'm going to keep trying it, but just keep going. We're just coloring in each little section here. I am going to put up the image again. Just hold on 1 second. Oh, that's going to be really big. Cancel. Let's see. I know, right? What happened, Jim? Why did this camera stop working on me? I'm not sure, but I'm just going to keep going. You guys can see what's going on here. I'm just continuing to fill in all of the little crevices in her boot. And I'm using some red paint, so go ahead and just continue on. Don't worry about my discrepancies here. I am thoroughly annoyed with my camera right now. Why did you do this, camera? Speaking of breaking the internet, that movie, Ralph Breaks the Internet, is awesome. I love that movie. Another great Disney one. So, because I know my brushes well, you know, when you start to get used to certain brushes, you just start to understand how they move and how they work. And that's why it's so cool to do things like this where we're practicing, getting into little areas and trying out new stuff. It's just really important to try out new stuff on the regular. So I'm going to try and fix this really quick to see if I can get this working. Anyways, I guess that's not going to work. All right, blue pants coming up. So, I got my blue here on my plate. Just going to grab a little bit of that. And I'm going to color in her fancy underpants here. So, she does have stars on it, but I'm just going to wait until after to paint the stars on. And go in and around all the edges. Here we go. Now this is a nice, it's called cobalt blue. It's like a nice royal blue. It's really good uniform blue. And you know what? Because my eyes are blue, I'm gonna color her eyes blue too. So while I have some blue on my brush, I'm gonna go ahead and color in her eyes. And you don't have to do blue. You can do whatever color you want. Maybe she has brown eyes. Maybe she has green eyes. There's so many different colored eyes. Hazel. Maybe she has orange eyes. Maybe she has like crazy, insane superpower laser eyes going on. So you get to decide whatever color you want. And I'm going to go ahead and color her whole area in. So I'm not going to try and go around any or leave anything open. I'm going to be painting her black pupil and her little white dots right over top of this. And I'm not going to worry about it. So by the time I get back to her eyes, the blue will be dry. It'll be really easy to paint over. There we go. Yeah, try not to freak out, friends. My camera is giving me a hard time. And, of course, it has to happen in the middle of a session. Not really understanding why. But I'm going to figure it out. Because the other view is way better. Way, way better. Okay, still not working. All right, gonna move on. Just gotta keep moving, friends. Just gotta keep moving. All right, so the next step in the process is I'm gonna color in her skin. Now, like I said before, we get to decide what color skin she has. So I have this, it's literally called Flesh. So that makes it really easy for me. Now, if you wanted to get this color, it's kind of like a peachy color. You would add a tiny little bit of red and a tiny little bit of orange in with a lot of white, and just keep mixing that about to get this really nice little peach color that I got going on here. I find it so odd that it's called Flesh, but you know, it's called that for a reason, and I'm going to use that to paint in her skin. It's a very pinky tone. Now, like I said, if you wanted to do a beautiful tan color or a beautiful brown, there's so many beautiful colors to work with. And just one step at a time, wherever she has skin, I'm just going to color it in. So starting at her legs, I'm going to go ahead and go all the way around. And like I said, you know, I like to leave my outlining for last. So I'm just going to color in all the spots as best as I can, all around the edges. And if at any point you feel like whatever brush you're using isn't working, just grab a different brush. That's what I do. Whenever I'm not feeling it, move on over and grab a different one. No harm, no foul. Whenever I'm on the side somewhere, I often use just the corner or just the very edge of my brush. And take your time. It's all good. And you know, whenever I go quiet, that's when I'm really concentrating. So whenever I'm going around all of these edges, trying to make it. Now, what ends up happening, so sometimes when I grab too much paint, I get some goops, or get some goobers, and the goobers build up on the sides of my paintbrush. So when I'm going around the edges, sometimes I get some thicker edges than I want. You just gotta really take your time and move around some of that paint. So if you find that you're going around the edges and you get these little clumps of paint or some big chunks that like in the center or whatever, just take a few extra seconds and move those around. So we want the paint to have a nice, even layer. And when we get rid of the goobers, it also helps our painting dry a lot faster too. Goobers don't dry very fast, so that's why I like to move them around. Now, when you're coloring in her skin up at the top, try not to go inside her eyeball too much, but just remember, because everything's being outlined in black, you have a little bit of leeway. Okay, so if you happen to go inside, go outside the lines or go inside of her eyelashes or anything like that, or even inside the headband, try not to go in too much, but it's okay because there's a good chunk of that edge that's going to get covered up in black after. So you can see here. Now, I'm cruising, obviously. But I just want to remind everybody again, you know me, I like to remind like hundreds of times, just in case you didn't hear me the first time. All the colors just are what they are on this painting. We don't have to worry about any real painting like techniques or any coloring techniques. We're just coloring in one solid color, all the spots. So it's okay to take your time and just note which color goes where. You can always refer back to the event, and you can always go back to the video and rewind it and watch it over and over again if you need it. It'll be there for you. Do. Now, make sure you give your brushes good rinses in between. I'm just going to go and grab my my little brush to paint in her hands here. They're pretty small. Now, there's one thing I do want to say about her hair. It's great to color it whatever color you want. I'm totally in. But for sure, the easiest color to paint it is black. Because we are going to be outlining all sorts of stuff in black here, it's going to be so much easier just to color her hair in black, because we can go all the way around the edges without worrying about getting any paint in her hair. We just keep going. It's all good. Now, I'm going to just go ahead and take my finger. I'm going to see if this part is dry. So the upper part of her headband is dry now, so I'm safe to go ahead and grab a little red and color that in. Star, star, star. There you are. One little point at a time. Do rhyme. All right. So, let's see here. We have all the red spots on, we have all the yellow spots on, and we have our blue spots. So our blue shorts do have a couple stars in them too, so I'm going to do those right now as well. I'm going to need a little bit of white paint, and I'm also going to use this little bit of white paint to mix a little bit of gray. So I'm going to go ahead and start to add a little bit of white and black to my palette. I'll show you what I got going on here. I have a little bit of white here, and I have a little bit of black here. And I am going to mix a tiny little bit of white and red to make her tongue. And then I'm going to mix a tiny, tiny, tiny little bit of black with my red and make the top of her mouth there. So let's see. While you guys catch up, I am just going to try. Oh, there she is. I'm going to go ahead and add my Wonder Woman image to this. So don't mind me. It's going to be really big for a second. Okay. Oh, there she is. She's huge, huge file. But, you know, I think it's going to be important to kind of check her out as we do this. So don't mind me. Again, I'm just troubleshooting as we go. I'm actually pretty stoked that I even know how to do this in the first place. There we go. I'm going to... Oh, here we go. That's the wrong one. Oh my goodness. There we go. So we can have her right here next to us and we can see what's happening. Here, I'll put her right there. All right, it's coming along, okay? We're almost there. Haha. So I just want you to look at her mouth. She's got a little bit of dark red on the top of her mouth and a little bit of light red for her tongue. So that's what we're going to do right now. I have my palette here, and it's such a little amount of paint. You really don't need a whole lot. So I'm going to just take a little scoop of white and a tiny little scoop of red, and I'm going to go ahead and mix those two colors together. I'm going to make a little bit of pink. So it doesn't matter what variation of pink it is. It doesn't have to be super light. It doesn't have to be super dark. We're just going to make it a little bit different than the red that we already have, okay? And you can see it's just such a little amount. Now, I am going to go ahead and grab just a drop of water in there just because it helps my brush fill in those spaces so much easier when I have that little drop of water in there. And I'm going to fill in the bottom area of her mouth. Everything looks so weird until we put block outlines on it. All right, give my brush a little rinsey. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing, only with the black. So I'm going to take a tiny little scoop of black and a tiny little scoop of red, and I'm just going to make a little mix over here, and it's going to make it a nice burgundy color. Oh, I already have a drop of water here, so I'm just going to drag that in. If you don't have little drops of water that fell onto your plate, just give a little dip in your cup again. And I'm just going to fill in this little tiny area right at the top of her mouth. So that is burgundy. So her tongue is pink and her mouth, the back of her mouth is burgundy. Rinse that up. And then both of her sleeves here are gray. So gray is a mixture of black and white. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab a little bit of white and literally the tiniest little bit of black. We don't need a lot of this stuff because we're filling in these tiny little areas. Maybe a little bit more. I just want it to be a nice light gray. Again, I'm going to give my brush a little dip in my cup, add a tiny little bit of water to it. Oh, don't do that. There we go. Grab a little bit of water, grab some of that gray, and I'm going to fill in her sleeves here. Maybe she has like super sweet golden cuffs that you want to put on that are like, I don't know. Silver's cool. I'm going to stick with silver. Yes, they're gray, but I'm going to pretend that they're beautiful silver cuffs that are shining and deflecting bullets all over the place. Pew, pew, pew. Pew, pew, pew. All right. And then last but not least, before we do any outlining, I am going to take a little bit of white, and I'm going to make 3 little stars in her superhero shorts. And yeah, I mean, you can do stars a whole bunch of different ways. So, some way I like to do it, I will make 2 little, like, I'm on my way to making a triangle. And then I put a line through the top. And then I just, just like how you make a star normally, connect these 2 lines and color it in. But like I said at the beginning, guys, this is just for fun. They do not have to be these perfect stars. Everybody's going to know that they're stars. Whether they're like super even or a little wonky. We all know what stars are. One side, the other side, make a line through the center, and then connect. There we go. And voila! That is our Wonder Woman. Our Wonder Woman. And now I'm going to go ahead and take the next little bit of time to outline. Now, if you want to, you can use a big brush in her hair to start, but I'm just gonna go around all the edges. We're gonna go a little bit over time here because obviously this painting takes a little bit more time, especially with camera difficulties. And then whatever. So I have my long skinny brush that I'm going to use to outline all the outlines. Now I want you to use whatever you're the most comfortable with. Maybe you aren't comfortable with outlining with a paintbrush. That's okay. Maybe you want to wait for all of your paint to dry and then grab a Sharpie and outline it all in a Sharpie. But because I'm making her hair black, when I do the outside edges of all of these things, I can make this as thick as I want around the edges. And that's why it's a little bit easier to make her hair black, because then you don't have to worry about any of the outside edges. Well, in most of the outside edges, because we're just going to be coloring her hair in black anyways. If you decide to do her hair any other color, I highly suggest actually coloring in the hair first. Go ahead and color in the hair first and then do the outlines after. So you can see I just take my time. Adding a little bit of water in with my paint always lets my brush cruise so much nicer along the canvas or along my page. So I always, whenever I feel like my brush is kind of starting to dry up at all, I go ahead and add a little drop of water in there. we go. She's starting to come together. She truly is. All right. All around her arms. Elbows. And the best part about, when you're working from home and you have your canvas on the table, you don't have to worry about it so much. You can always turn your canvas around the way you need it. You kind of let your hand work in its own natural direction. So if I find I'm right-handed, so whenever I'm moving from the left to the right, like when you're writing anything, that's way easier than moving from the right to the left. And if you are left-handed, you might find it more simple to be on the other side. So you have the ability to move your canvas around so that you always are going in a direction that you're comfortable with. You don't always have to keep your canvas super straight on the table. You can work with what you got there. And this is a cartoon, so don't worry too much about how thick your edges are. Just keep rolling with it. Fun character times. So much harder to go the other way. Whoa. All right. And you can see here, I'm just kind of hopping around. Just as far as the black outlines are concerned, just go with your natural gut instinct. Not anything I do, especially when it comes to drawing or art, is totally comes from my soul. I let my brush flow as I will. I drawn to different spots of my painting at different times, and that's perfect. So just follow the lines. All right. There's a lot of outlining to do for this one, so just take your time. Now, if you did see the new Wonder Woman movie recently, let me know if you watched it and let me know what you thought about it. I'm curious, what are your thoughts about the newest movie? I thought some of the parts were really super epic. And I'm always a sucker for anything that has to do with the 80s, so that's nice. I liked that. So I'm outlining all the lines in her boots too, all around the edges. Just cruising along. I have turned my page. I didn't even notice. I guess that's what you kind of got to do that, hey? If you want to get into any of these good spots here. Got to twist and turn. Let's twist again like we did last summer. Yeah, yeah, let's twist again. Twisting time is here. Tanya, I have to agree. I did enjoy the first one better than the second one. Dana loved it. Yeah, sweet. That's great. I'm glad you guys are still with me. I'm glad you're still here with me. So fun. All right. Oh man, there's so many little crevices. And you know, I'm totally a sucker too. So I always leave the best parts for last. So I always end up outlining all the areas first. And then I get to her face because that's the final frontier of this painting. It's getting her eyes on and making sure she has some eyebrows. Now I am going to outline underneath of her face too. So right along her chin, I'm going to make a nice little line there. And I'm going to go and grab my bigger brush to do her hair. So I often like to, it's always, now if you guys have been painting with me for a while, you know that I really like to add in just a couple drops of water with my paint, especially when I'm doing outlines and using black, because it helps my brush, it just cruises so much nicer. It makes really nice long lines. Fills in all those little crevices. And now you can see why painting her hair black is so much easier, because all of the outlines are black and you don't have to worry about touching the outside or anything like that. And just color it all in without a worry in the world. But, take your time around the edges. Especially when you're getting in these little crevicey spots. Beep. Careful now. I always use just the corner of my brush to get into any little corners or anything like that. Man, I'm using up all of my black paint. All right. We are getting there. Oh my goodness, we're so close. So close to her face. If you haven't done it yet, way to go. Way to have the patience to wait it out. It's not an easy feat. I know I'm making everybody wait to do her eyes. And I am going to have to replenish my black paint because I have used it all. It's all gone. She gone. Here we go. So when it comes to her eyes, the first thing I am going to do before I do any outlining is I'm going to put her little pupils in. And then I'm going to go ahead and go all around her eyes and her eyelashes. And I'm going to get it for some eyebrows. Now, the cool thing about acrylic paints too, so I'm like doing all these outlines. At any point, if you take black and go inside any of the colors in here, it's really easy to go back over them. So, you know, if I accidentally colored in her hand, it would be really easy to let that dry, grab a little bit more of that flesh color and go right over top of it. It's nice to be able to layer on top of your colors. Even if you needed an extra coat or two of paint, it would work. You would definitely be able to continue to cover the stuff up. And so no worries. If, if for any reason you've colored inside the lines with black, just continue on and let things dry. At any time, if you feel if you feel like, you're getting discouraged, or if you go inside the lines or anything, always just let everything dry first and then try and give it another go. Always let it dry first, then try again. Excuse me. Okay, so now, like I said, for her face, I'm going to go ahead and just grab my long skinny brush again. I'm going to grab my liner brush, and I'm going to give her little pupils first. So right in the center of her eyes, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to give her two nice long ovals right in there. Gotta get it right in there on both sides. Try and keep them the same size. I'm not succeeding at this right now, so I'm going to make this one a little bigger. They're pretty close. They're close enough. I'm just going to leave it. When close enough, let it be. And then I'm going to go ahead and go around her beautiful eyelashes. And these are very anime style eyes, so they're very big. Very, very big. Here we go. One eye done. And then let's see if I can do this other eye here without getting paint all over my hands. Now, because I added those little drops of water in with my paint earlier, that is what is allowing me to make these nice long lines on my face here. So if I hadn't added a couple little drops of water, then I'd be running in my lines would dry up. I'd have to go over them over and over and over again. And I'm not adding like a lot of water, just like one drop. It just liquids it up a little bit and allows me to make nice long solid lines instead of broken up and all dried up on the edges. Going around her whole eye. I need a hero. Wonder Woman. Around her mouth. And, oh, actually, I'm just going to leave her tongue the way it is. Just leaving it be. I'm going to also, oh, there's so much stuff. Okay. And she needs some eyebrows, right? So, oh, you know what? Before the eyebrows, I'm going to just give this star a quick outline here. Oh, nice thick one. A nice thick outline. But down. Stars in the house. and then I'm going to give her some eyebrows. So, you know, go ahead and just feel out the shape. If you need to add that little drop of water in with your paint, do it now so that you only have to do this in one go. So I like to start a little thinner at the back here. And then as I move over, I just push a little harder. And then as I get to the back of her eyebrow, I'm just going to let up a little bit and... Oh yeah. It's a nice eyebrow. I'm going to go the other way. Start thin. Push a little harder. And... Oh, that one's a little different. I'm going to try and even them out a little bit. Come on, Wonder Woman. Who does your eyebrows? I have no choice but to make this one a little bit thicker to match the other one, because the other one's not getting any thinner. She has eyebrows like me. Nice thick eyebrows. Yeah, there we go. And, oh, and then she has a little collarbone too, which I really like here. So right in the center, I just go up one way, boop. And then up the other way, boop. So she's got a little collarbone going on there. All right. Who's with me still? You guys still hanging out or what? There's a lot of little areas to this girl. She's got a lot going on. So just a couple more pieces here. Now, she needs a little sparkle in her eye. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a little bit of white. And just make sure before you do this that the inside of her eye is dry. So if you want to just like do one of these, make sure that's dry first. And I'm going to put a nice big white dot right here. It's our sparkle. Another little dot down here. Make this one a little bit bigger. And then same on the other side. Right over top. There we go. Little twinkle in her eye. And then obviously, what would Wonder Woman be? Who would she be without her majestic lasso? So I put this on last because it is, all of our paint is dry now. Well, hopefully. If it's not, that's okay. And right on the side, so you can have it kind of popping out of her hand if you want. I'm just going to start by making a nice big circle here. And then just take your brush and kind of waft back and forth here. It doesn't have to be super perfect by any means. We're just adding in a little yellow on the side, maybe lengthen it out a little bit, like she's holding it in her hand on the side of her leg here. She's got her golden her golden lasso. Oh, that's nice, Tanya. Yeah, I'm going to say this is a lot more involved than I remember it. And obviously we're going a little longer tonight. So when it's time and you have all this stuff set up, you could just leave this as is. She is so cool just on her own. You do not have to do anything else to her, and she's perfect. But you can also go ahead, I'm just going to give my brush a good rinse, and just like the Baby Yoda painting, I'm going to add in a little bit of watercolory background in with her. So I'm just making sure I got all that black off of my brush right now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my palette and I'm going to add little bits of water in with my red and my blue. You can even do the same with your yellow too. And I'm just going to put a nice little light wash in the background of my Wonder Woman here. So grab some water and I'm going to make a little pool of water right next to my red. I'm going to start by giving her some ground to lay on here, or to lay on, walk on, stand on, whatever she's doing. And I'm just going to start like that. So I have this water on my brush that makes it really liquidy, watery, and you can see I'm just going around her boots, a little bit behind her, making sure she has a little bit of ground to stand on. And then from that point, I always just keep adding a little bit of water in with my paint. So you don't need a lot of paint, just a lot of water. And I'll start to take my brush, and I often, whenever I make these kind of backgrounds, I go in either an upward direction or a sideways direction. So it's a very kind of like, there's not a lot of scribbling, even though it looks really scribbly. I do have a method to my madness. So I will take my brush and I'll waft up a few times, and then I'll waft over to the side, waft up and over. And I just go until that paint kind of runs dry on my canvas here. And then I will do the same with my blue. Grab a little bit of water. I'm going to add in just on the side of my blue here, just a little bit. And obviously blue and red look awesome together, so don't be afraid to mix them together a little bit. You might get a little bit of purple color going on. Um, her hair is black, so you can go over top of her hair a little bit. If you need to, do another coat of black after, that's fine too. But it is kind of nice to actually hit the sides of her body sometimes when you're doing the background. So if you, it's kind of like a nice little ebb and flow. So you have some of the background scribblies touching her body, but then you also have some that are away from her body. Now, I don't leave like a whole space around the entire way. I do like to, make it look like it is behind her. And like I said, I go up and down, side to side, up and down, side to side. And if it looks like any of your colors are kind of mucking up her hair a little bit, just go with it. And then just take a little extra black later. Cover it up. Love when I get lost mid-sentence, just scribbling away. You can finish it off later. It is all good, my friends. And I'm going to put a little in between her legs here too. Now, just be a little bit more careful in this area because you don't want to hit her legs, but it's okay to hit the black outlines in the back. So it's okay to touch the black. Try not to hit the creamy parts of her legs there. And there we go. You know what? I was a little skeptical, but I think I might like this one better than my original. I didn't think I was going to, but it's funny how that works. She's a little longer than the original one. Oh, hey, Willisha. Yay! I'm so glad you made it. And yeah, thank goodness for the membership. Ain't that right? Thanks. Thanks for the shout out for sure. This will be there, but this video is going to stay up on my Facebook page, guys. So like I said, just take your time. It's all good. If you didn't finish in the same amount of time that I did, no worries at all. Just keep working at it. And now that you have this video, it gives you the chance to practice. So you can go grab your sketchbook and practice drawing her a bunch of times. It's going to work out perfectly, good to be able to practice drawing this really fun character. I wonder. No. My camera still doesn't want to work. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to switch my camera up. Now, if anybody has any questions, please ask now, and I will answer. And if not, I am just so grateful that you guys showed up for me tonight. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure when you get the chance, you put your little initials in the corner of your page there. And I'm going to go ahead and just switch my camera back so I can say bye to you guys. Because my my upper camera didn't exactly work out. So, friends, again, I am so grateful that you showed up tonight. Thank you so much to my awesome sponsors at the We Tech Alliance, the Mama and Family Expo, the Windsor Essex Small Business Center, and Rise Windsor Essex. They're all about women in entrepreneurship. And, let's just take a few extra seconds to really give props to the awesome women in our lives. We do a lot, and girls are awesome. So let's just keep lifting each other up, no putting each other down. Everybody's amazing. We are all so unique and so gifted in all of our own ways. And it's really, really important that we embrace that awesome uniqueness that we have. I really, really hope that you can find that. And I really hope you enjoyed painting with me tonight. So, like I said, I apologize that my camera stopped working, but I think it ended up working out. Whoa, look at that big light behind me. a little clue into what my studio looks like in the background. And that's it. Awesome. Thanks, Susan. Thank you, Dana. And thank you, everybody. I can't wait. Make sure you get into that Julie's Paint Party public group and post your pictures after, okay? Because I can't wait to see them. Thanks again, friends, and I bid you adieu. Go keep being the amazing person that you are. Okay? Bye, guys.